Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday the 9th of August 2025. Today it was match day, opening day of the season away at Norwich, a ground that we never, ever win out. We did. We did it. We won away at Carrow Road. First time in 57 years, the first time since the 2nd of November 1968, the first time in 21 league games and 25 games overall. What took you so long? Well, let's have a little read of what happened today. I'm sure most of you have seen it. It was available on the television, or streaming as it's known. So yes, millwallfc.co.uk, the club's official website. This is the match report. Macca, Millwall's match winner at Carrow Road. Millwall began their 25-26 Sky Bet Championship season with a 2-1 victory at Norwich City on Saturday afternoon. Camille Negley gave the Lions the lead after a goalless first half at Carrow Road, only for Josh Sargent to equalise in fortunate circumstances minutes later. Macaulay Langstaff, however, will be the match winner as he took control of a through ball 7 minutes from time to secure a first win in East Anglia since 1968. Actually, I think East Anglia includes Ipswich, so I think it would be more accurate if you said Norfolk. Alex Neil named debutants Stephen Bender and Alfie Doty in his starting XI, whilst Josh Coburn made a second debut following his permanent summer move from Middlesbrough. Max Kuchom, Zach Sturgeon and Massimo Luongo, meanwhile, were named among the substitutes. A packed-out away end got behind the side from the off in East Anglia, but it was Norwich who made the first foray into the box earlier on as Jacob Wright found Billy Mitchell's midriff with a shot and Harry Darling prodded behind at the far post from a corner kick. The Lions then had to put bodies on the line as the Canaries pressed forward in search of an opening goal, with Wright curling a free kick attempt comfortably into the arms of Bender close to the midway point of the half. At the other end, Femi Aziz whipped in a dangerous cross that had to be touched away by Vladan Kovacevic before Doty's cross was then flicked by Mihailo Ivanovic and hurried clear by the home side. Bender rushed out to clear away from danger and he on Shuin. I don't think that's how you spell that. And the ensuing, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I don't think that's how you spell that. Josh Sargent, as the final 10 minutes of the first half loomed, Mankwa Forson's free kick the next effort on goal, but the shot sailed over the German's crossbar. Negley's delightful through ball found the run of Ivanovic with 39 minutes on the clock, only for his strike on goal to be deflected into the side netting. A minute from the break, the ball fell to Negley on the edge of the box after Aziz's cross was only half cleared, but the Algerian's powerful attempt was well stopped by Kovacevic. Mitchell's determined run down the Millwall's right allowed Aziz to advance inside and cross towards Coburn early in the second half, only for a Norwich head to take the ball away from the path of the front man. But on 51 minutes, the Lions were in front as a flowing move saw Crammer cross to the back post and find Negley, who guided a controlled left-footed attempt past Kovacevic. 4 minutes later, however, Norwich were level in bizarre circumstances as Bender's kick was closed down by Sargent with the ball rolling into the back of the net for 1-1. Millwall responded well to that setback though, with Aziz and Doughty making Norwich's defence work with numerous crosses into the penalty area, a corner on 58 minutes being flapped out by Kovacevic, but no Lion could tap home at the back post. Ivanovic then wriggled free of his marker on the edge of the 6-yard box on the hour mark and teed up Aziz, but the attacker blazed over from close range. Yeah, Aziz's miss, I mean, woof, how did you miss that? Doughty's crossfield pass and Crammer's enticing ball across the 6-yard box could not be reached by Ivanovic as the Lions remained on top, but Norwich looked to hit Millwall on the break on 68 minutes as they raced upfield following an attack. Jafet Tangang, the man in the way as Sargent let fly. Crammer crossed and Coburn nodded wide as the last 20 minutes got underway. Just then, head coach Neil looked to shake things up, and the Lions attacked shortly after by bringing on Luke Cundle and Langstaff, and that proved to be pivotal as Doughty slipped a ball through to the striker, who made no mistake despite the on-rushing Kovacevic. Yeah, he put it through his legs. Absolutely beautiful goal. Absolutely beautiful, by the way. From there, the Lions were able to negotiate the remaining normal and stoppage time to open up their season with a win and finally claim 3 points at Carrow Road! So there you go. Lovely stuff. Let's get into the game before we show you the team. You're seeing online like people trying to pick out the man of the match and everyone's naming a different player. I don't think there was probably one poor player really. Everyone's doing very well. Just a testament as well. We scored two goals in an away game, and Ivanovic didn't score and Coburn didn't score. And I'm not digging them out. It's just like your strikers don't score, or the one off the bench did, but your strikers don't score, and you get goals from somewhere else. That's what it takes. So if you're going to be at the top of the top, you need goals from all across the pitch. First 20 minutes, we were under the cosh, but not really threatened. There wasn't really any end point, but we were defending quite heavily, needing to, and seemingly doing quite well. The goal with Bender, he's made an error. Got that out of the way, so hopefully he can fix that. He got away with that, because we did score the second goal. Although I'm sure in the dressing room he's apologising to everyone about that. So hopefully he doesn't do that again. But you would imagine, he's probably going to have the next game off, because they'll probably put Crocombe into the goal for the Newport game. I imagine that's one of the changes that's happened. Coming back from the second half, Femi Aziz, how did he miss that? He was 6 yards out and he just blasted it over the bar. Man, how? What else? You just had the feeling it wasn't going to be the day. Like Crammer, going down the wing, playing it right back, trying to put the crosses in, and we're just going out for throw-ins, over and out for a goal kick. He's like, oh god, it's not going to happen today. But then when he does get it right, boom, fantastic stuff. Puts the cross in, get the goal. Doughty as well, he was sweating a lot. Didn't look, kind of looked a bit gassed out. And I was saying, oh, they're gonna have to take him off. I was sort of thinking they're gonna take him off. Why haven't they taken him off yet? Why haven't they taken Aziz and brought a Maku on? And then he did make the substitutions, but he made different substitutions that I was expecting. He brought Cundle and Langstaff on, so for Coburn and Negley? So, okay. Let's see how this goes. Went quite well, because, straight away, Doughty's put the ball through for Langstaff to run onto. Langstaff's run onto it and just threaded it through the keeper's legs. Absolutely brilliant goal. Fantastic stuff, really. And then he finally makes the changes. Kind of confusing as well. He's going again with Ryan Leonard at left back, even though Zach Sturge is there. Obviously, Leonard is more experienced and probably more fit at this stage of the season. Zach Sturge, for some reason, was coming back late, so I don't know how fit he is. But there was 3 or 4 minutes to go. Kind of confusing that you're not playing a left back at left back, but it worked out. I'm not going to question Alex Neil, not at this time. But kind of weird that they're doing that. Okay. But the reason why I think they played Femi Aziz and played Doughty, they pushed them to their limits, because I imagine he already knows who's going to get swapped out for the Newport game on Tuesday in a couple of days. And I imagine Doughty's going to be swapped out, the keeper's going to be swapped out, probably Aziz is going to be swapped out for Maku, probably Tanganga for Grant, and probably I think you're allowed to make another couple. So I imagine there will be the changes they already know about. One thing to note, watching the game on the streaming on Sky, when Billy Mitchell went down with that injury, and then he kept getting, because the ball wasn't going out of play, he had to keep getting up, and you could tell that was a rough one. The guy on the TV said it was cramp. I don't think it was cramp. I think it's probably a reoccurrence of the injury that he's had over the past couple of seasons, which I think was an ankle injury. So, he might be out for a while now. Hopefully not, but might have to go back into the market, for a central midfielder. Maybe not. I don't know. But if that is the case, shame, because Billy Mitchell was absolutely fantastic today. Like I said, so many man of the matches you could pick. Crammer, Billy Mitchell, Doughty, quite a few, so yeah, there you go. Now, Denor as well. Denor was fantastic. I mean, he's literally gone on another level, and you didn't think there were going to be more levels, but he's gone up another level. Absolutely brilliant Denor was today. So this is the team that went out. Bender, Crammer, Tanganga, Cooper, Doughty, Denor, Mitchell, Negley, Coburn, Aziz and Ivanovic. The subs bench was Sturz, Crocombe, Langstaff, Leonard, Luongo, Emaku, Condor, Grant, Bangor, Williams. The subs that came on were Leonard for Doughty in the 93rd minute, Luongo on for Mitchell in the 92nd minute, Condor on for Negley in the 79th minute, Langstaff on for Coburn in the 79th minute, and Emaku on for Aziz in the 88th minute. And just again, brilliant substitutions just at the right time by Alex Neil. Because they do that, and then the subs come on 79 minutes, he scores in 4 minutes later. So that's when your subs have that kind of impact, you've got to praise the manager for that. The red card that I predicted and expected didn't come, neither did the penalty, although they did try for it, didn't they? That Sargent, I mean, man, what a guy that Sargent is, eh? Ginger hair and curly. How unfortunate to have that in your life. But he's got loads of money, so I'm sure he probably doesn't care. 4 yellow cards for us. Lots of free kicks for them. Trying to get Cooper sent off, didn't really work out. Unlucky with that. So yeah. As well, one thing I forgot as well, with their goal, the Bender mistake. I'm not sure. I have watched it back once, but only at full speed. I'm not sure if it looked like Josh Sargent just kind of jumped up in advance of him kicking it. I don't know if he was already going through with the motion, but it felt like Josh Sargent jumped up before he kicked it. So Bender didn't react to that and then just kind of switch at the last second. Obviously it's easier said than done in hindsight, but he could have just pulled out of the hard long kick and just kind of played it under Josh Sargent. It felt like, I don't know. I have to watch the replay back on slow motion, but again, but he did make some decent saves. And he does come out and punches it, which I like. A lot of people, what are you punching it for? Better than letting it go in the fucking net, innit? Or better than letting it... And not only that, but if you punch it earlier on in the game, then the opposition players know, if he comes out, I could be getting a punch in the head. So it kind of prevents them from just jumping in willy-nilly. They need to be a bit more focused with it. So I don't mind goalkeepers punching balls. I love punching balls. I absolutely love getting some balls and punching them. So let's have a look at some pictures now from the game. Everyone's celebrating. Everyone is happy as Larry. These players have just written themselves into the history books. Can they do it even further at the end of the season by being league winners? Why not? Started off well. Norwich City versus Millwall photos from the official club website millfc.co.uk. Let's take a look at some of the action. Billy Mitchell there, Josh Coburn, Ivanovic. There he is there, Bender. Ivanovic. Celebrating insanely even though he didn't score. But, you know, it's a team game, isn't it? And there's the goal. Puts it through his legs. Worried about, you know, getting clattered, but didn't happen. And everyone's happy as Larry because he finally scored. It's only second ever goal for Millwall. Fantastic stuff, you know. Good to see. Good to see. And it looks like, you know, he's going to be sticking around after that. And there you go. There you go. At the end of the game, trying to get you know, the Mill. They're doing this in front of the Mill crowd, so you know, getting his laurels. And why not? Why not? But Billy Mitchell looks happy there, so maybe he's not that injured, but hopefully. But you know, it didn't look. I don't think it didn't look like cramp to me. I think when you got cramp, you kind of stretch and shake your leg. You don't. He was walking off normally, but kind of with a limp. So hopefully he's fine. But yeah. Now we've got some post-match comments from the manager, which we'll get into them at the end. You can listen to. I'll tell you where you can listen to the post-match interview from the manager at the end of the video. So this is from southernnews.co.uk. So Millwall boss praises side's grit after Norwich City win and discusses breaking unwanted Carrow Road record. 686. Millwall boss Alex Neil praises side's grit after they got their championship campaign off to the best possible start by beating Norwich City 2-1 at Carrow Road. Millwall enjoyed a tricky opening 30 minutes in the August sun, indeed, with the Canaries dominating with the ball with 63.8% possession and taking 7 shots, although only one was on target. So there you go. The Lions grew into the game and took the lead early on in the second half with the Camille Negley volleyed in Tristan Crammer's cross. Norwich replied 4 minutes later when Josh Sargent blocked Millwall keeper Stephen Bender's attempted long kick and the ball bounced into the net. How unfortunate. Yeah, they're just basic. This isn't the match report, they're just summing up the game, but we already know about that. Securing an opening day win for Millwall and their first win at Carrow Road since 1968. Neil was pleased to have broken an unwanted record. Well, first and foremost, the record, it's been a big talking point, I think, around our club, certainly, and something we wanted to try and make sure we eradicated, really. It's a long, long time, especially when you've got two teams at the same level for quite a significant period. It's a long time to come here and not have picked up a win. However, I do understand how difficult it is to come to Carrow Road and pick up points. I've been here as the manager. I thought the atmosphere before the game was electric, you know, it was excellent. Probably the first time, really, we've had that atmosphere leading into any of the games across pre-season, and it took us a bit of a time to get used to it. I thought Norwich started better, albeit I don't think there were loads of chances in their favour, and there were a couple of free kicks around the edge of the box, which we dealt with quite comfortably, but not anything where you'd think they should score there. So from that perspective, it was pleasing that we've seen that phase out. And I thought probably 15 minutes before half-time, we got a little bit more into the game, and I got a few crosses into the box and created a couple of issues, and Camille had a chance at the edge of the box and had a shot. And then in the second half, we were markedly improved. And I thought we'd come to terms with Norwich and what they were doing. So our performances in terms of winning duels and landing on things and winning headers and keeping the ball alive, we did far, far better. We scored 2, probably should have scored more. And then obviously we made the mistake and it gave them a lifeline at a crucial time in the game. But what we have got as a team, we've got great. We dig in, we find a way to influence matches. And we did that again. Norwich head coach Liam Manning appointed in the summer set his side up in a 3-4-2-1, which gave the Lions opportunities to attack the spaces behind the wingbacks. When we play with Femi holding width off the left, it gives us an opportunity to break down that side, Neil said. That's where the goal came from for the second one. We had Tristan going down the right, and that's where the cross comes in from the first one. So we knew where the spaces would be, but it's easy to know where the spaces are. The difficult thing is making sure that you're better in possession and you're better out of possession. And when you're moving it, and you're moving it with a lot of quality and a lot of detail, and you can try and create genuine opportunities. I thought we did that throughout the game, certainly the second half. So yeah, as far as we're concerned, it's a great afternoon, a really tough place to come. I think Norwich will be a really good side this year. I think Liam is a great fit in my opinion for this club, and I think they'll be strong. Yeah, he's just probably going to need a little bit more time to get his way of working into them. So thankfully for us, that worked in our favour today. There you go. Tangential news here. Opening date for London Bridge Wetherspoons has been pushed back to September. So there you go. Any, Millwall that travel to games through London Bridge been pushed back to September. Shame. So there you go. Got more. We got this. He's got quality. Alex Neil applauds Millwall goal scorer for converting a difficult chance. And this is again from the southernnews.co.uk. Alex Neil said Camille Negley had quality after the winger scored the opener in Mill's 2-1 win against Norwich City at Carrow Road today. Negley joined the lines for a then club record fee in the January transfer window and scored 1 goal in 6 appearances in a debut season that was hindered by injuries. The 25-year-old started on the right wing against the Canaries and forced out a sprawling save from Vladan Kovacevic in the first half before volleying home Tristan Kramer's cross in the 51st minute to give Millwall the lead. Neil thought it was a well-taken goal. There are always difficult chances, People will look at that and think, oh, you should score that one. But when you're a professional player at that level, to those guys, it might seem quite easy to the normal guy in the street. Trust me, there's not a moment that you take lightly. But he's got quality, he's got a really good left foot. And I think the pleasing thing with Tristan's cross, because we had 2 opportunities right before that, I think we kicked one into the stands and we hit the first man in your hand. So come on, we need a little bit more quality. And when we reached it, it got us a goal. So that's alright, isn't it? And finally, number 3, from the southernnews.co.uk, from Alex Neil. Millwall head coach delighted for goal scorer Macaulay Langstaff and opens up on what he's been on to him about in training. And it's something that I mentioned from the pre-season game where he missed that chance. And I think that might be the Northampton game. He tried to put it in the top corner. Alex Neil praised Macaulay Langstaff after he scored the winner against Norwich City earlier today, the striker's second goal of his Millwall career. Langstaff was substituted on in the 80th minute with the game level at 1-1, and within 3 minutes gave the Lions a breakthrough after he ran onto Alfredo's ball over the top and finished the ball through the Canaries keeper Vladan Kovacevic's legs. The striker joined Millwall last season after breaking goal-scoring records in the National League and winning the Golden Boot in his first season in League 2 and scored 1 goal in 34 Championship appearances. Langstaff enjoyed a strong pre-season, scoring a quick first-half hat-trick against Sutton United, and he took that form into the Lions' season opener. He scored the exact same goal away at Sutton United, Neil said. Exact same goal. Alfie feeding the ball down the side and, Mac a great run into the channel and he just opens it up and slides it into the bottom corner with his right foot. I've been on to him about stopping trying to hit the top corner. I've poachers finishes, the ones where you slide them under the goalkeeper. And, I'm not taking any credit for the finish, by the way. But the point I'm making is that's what it is, That's what he's really good at. And he took the chance really well. So, yeah, I'm delighted for him. Neil discussed what Langstaff can do to continue to be succeeding at the Championship level. I think probably consistency and confidence. I think believing in what he is and what he can do. The fact that we play in a front two, I think helps him. Playing in the one in the Championship is a tough old role. You're up there, you need to lean into two big centre backs, and you need to try and take the ball in, and you need to try and create something. And you've got loads of work to do. We gave up a little bit of control with the game to have 2 forwards at times like we did today, because we feel it makes us more dangerous, and I thought the game represented that. As far as we were concerned, we were more of a threat, because when the ball comes into the box, you've got to be 2 big lads in there, and what it does do, it means that we might have a little bit less possession, but providing that works in our favour, we're comfortable with that. Asked if he thinks Langstaff could score double figures this season, Neil said, I think under the right circumstances, yeah. If you create the right opportunities for him, I don't see why not, because irrespective of what level you can finish at, you can finish. And if that makes sense, the goal is the same size, and as far as I'm concerned, I think it's just getting a type of opportunity that Maka thrives on, and today was one of them. And you can listen, hear, and see all of that for yourself by going to the YouTube channel Bur Pink Un, which is pink and then UN, which is the Norwich City fan channel. It's like the News at Den. It's their version of the News at Den. I believe it's kind of owned and run by the East Anglian Daily Times? One of them. So, yeah, they've got this video, and this is shared on the post section of the Daily Mail YouTube channel, which is the channel you're watching now, unless you're on Spotify, which this is also available on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, I don't think the pink one's on there, so you'll have to come over to YouTube and watch it here. You can watch 8 minutes, 40 seconds of the post-match press conference with Alex Neil after that glorious win away at Norwich City for the first time since the 2nd of November 1968. First time in 25 games we've gone up there and won. And on that note, thank you for watching. Goodbye.